Alright, I'm going to be doing my tutorial today on suicides, and it's a more advanced trick. I'll show you really quickly what that looks like. It involves letting go of one stick and wrapping it around the diablo, or rather wrapping one stick around the diablo, letting go of one, and having it fly around the diablo, the stick that you let go, and then catching it again. And you can do this pretty much infinitely, and there's a lot of different ways to get out of it, but I'm just going to teach you, all you do is basically catch the stick. But here's what a single suicide looks like. Did not get it going fast enough. I should have gotten the gist of that. I'll do it again just to show you. And that should have been enough to see, but basically this is what's going on. So the diablo, my right hand right here is the one that's moving, and my left hand is the one with the watch and the bracelet. So what happens is my right hand comes, wraps around the diablo, I'll start that over. My right hand comes, wraps around the diablo, so now there's a loop around it, and it's not going to fall off, it can go up, anything. And then I let go of this stick, which comes around, and as you let go of this, as it comes in, you pull up on the right stick, and it pulls this down, it comes around, undoes that loop, and you catch the stick. And then the diablo is free to pop off of the string. So, it's obviously a little more difficult when you're actually doing it. So, the key to doing this is to get it, the speed isn't as much of a factor in this one, because you're kind of speeding it up as you do it. I mean, it's not necessarily a legitimate acceleration technique, but it does add some speed to the diablo since the way it's wrapped. As you pull, it adds speed. This stick ends up coming up on the right side, and so as you pull, it's pulling up on the right side, which is much the same as doing this or this. So it is adding speed, so speed isn't as much of an issue. But when you do it and you let go of your left stick, you want to pull up, oops, did not catch it. You want to pull up on the right stick as it comes down, and this is the diablo here, I'll wrap it around so it doesn't fall off. But after you wrap, imagine this is moving, after you wrap this around, as you let go of this one and it comes down, you want to pull up with your right stick so that it comes down and it gives it that momentum. Otherwise, it'll just kind of swing down and it'll pull the diablo around. You want to kind of make that diablo the center point for a big loop that this stick will make. And as I said before, you can do this pretty much infinitely once you get decent at it. And so I'll show you that really quick. And if I can think of anything else really to tell you about suicides, I'll tell you afterwards, but oops. Oops, dropped it. But that should have been enough to see what I did. I went and I tried to catch the snake, but I missed it because it's moving around. But as I went and the diablo came down to do the multiple suicide, the diablo, or rather the stick, wrapped around my right stick. This one came out, and right when it came about here, I pulled up with this stick, which gave that momentum to come up around. And then right about when it was here-ish, right after I pulled up, I dropped this stick, and I did it. Now this is gonna be hard to describe. let me put the Diablo down. Right after this stick, the left stick was up here. I wrapped this stick around again. So it created another loop. So this would come back around, and after I pulled up, I did another loop, and it came back around, and I continued that pattern. So if you don't do that, and you just continue pulling up with the you can call it infinite, multiple, continuous, suicide, whatever. Oops. If you don't do that extra wrap around, it'll just fly off, which I'll show you really quickly right here. So, because if you let it go, then the left stick will continue in that loop around the Diablo, but there will be nothing holding the Diablo to the string. It'll be detached from the string. It won't be wrapped around it, so it'll just kind of fly off to my left. So I'll show you really quickly. The frame rate was pretty bad, I think, but as it came down and around, there was no more loop right here. Like, if you can see that loop in the string right there, that's pretty much what it looks like around the Diablo when you have the strings. And so the left string comes down, it gets rid of that loop, and it's up here. There's no more loop, or it's kind of becoming less existent. So now I wrap the string around again. It creates another loop, which can't really be shown, but yeah. So if you don't wrap this string around again to do another continue the suicide, this will come down, and the strings will be like this, and Diablo will be resting right here. Put it on my shirt so you can see. And the left stick will continue down, and once it reaches somewhere on the bottom, the Diablo will just kind of be pushed out. So that's about it, really. There are different methods to getting out of it, but the easiest one, in my opinion, is just catching the stick. I'm not really good at any of the other ones, personally. Maybe you could practice, look it up elsewhere. But there are different ways. There's a genocide where you make the other stick wrap around, the right stick ends up wrapping around instead of the left stick, and you catch that. It's a lot more complicated, and I might make another tutorial on that later. But for now, just remember, wrap around, pull up, and there you go. And somehow I got them 360, but that's the gist of it. So pull up. Oops. Pull up when this stick starts coming down, and then just catch the stick or rewrap and continue pull up right as it reaches the bottom and rewrap. And there you go.